So thank you for being here. It's too early for me in the morning, and already I couldn't enter my password. So I hope nothing else goes wrong because my brain is literally still sleepy. I have been awake like quite 2 hours, but still, he doesn't wake up in time. So I'm Patricia Khashayar. I'm the director of International Institute for Biosensing. I'm so happy to be here today because this is during the past 2 days, for the ones of you who have been here, there was extraordinary talks of amazing people telling us how to learn from nature, how to reconnect with nature, and how to try to really do and work the way that nature is addressing the challenges and has been addressing the challenges for the past couple of years. Today, I'm going to talk about how biosensing and exposomics are going to be actually our invisible tools to whatever we have learned during the past 2 days to kind of like apply them. So it would be a kind of a wrap up for the past 2 days and kind of telling us again that we are living in a world that we are connected with each other. We talk about smart cities, we talk about interconnected cities, but now I'm going to tell you, imagine we are living in a snow globe. When we are living in a snow globe, like everything around us is linked with each other. Why snow globe? Because snow globe is actually a sign of equilibrium. It's kind of like when you shake it, everything shakes. You can focus on a small flake, but literally it's not really a flake. It's everything that is inside the snow globe. And when it's disturbed, when it's challenged, everything is challenged inside it. And that actually shows us like everything around us is interconnected with each other. And we have to actually do that. So as you all know, resilience is how we address these changes. And we have been trying to use the term resilience to say, okay, we have a challenge, we want to fix it, so we have to be resilient. So that's how we are addressing it. But the problem is, all of us are using the word resilient, all of us are using the word sustainability. But the terminology is actually different for me than everyone else in the room. Each of you has your own terminology. On day one, I guess like Bjorn was talking about equity, and he asked like, what is the definition of equity, how you do that? This is the same for resilience and sustainability. We are using these words so much. This is part of our life, but we don't really pay attention that the definition is different for all of us. In order to be able to move forward, we have to reach kind of the same language to be able to know what does it mean, how we can do that. And kind of, we are saying resilience is actually the response to change. So whatever exposure that we are exposed to is going to be needing a different answer or a different outcome. But how are we going to do that? So, and the other thing that is important here is kind of like, whenever we are using this terminology, we are normally using it from the lens of the human. So I want to be like healthy, like the soil is healthy because it's healthy for me. This environment is healthy because it's like healthy for me. We don't consider that there are other things living around us or being around us, not living around us, and for them, the definition of healthy, resilience, whatever you want to consider the outcome is going to be different. So when we want to measure this outcome, we have to measure it from the perspective of all of these things like differently. Are we looking at their molecules, or we are looking them as a system, we are looking them as individuals, or we are looking at them as a community or a population? The definition is going to be different. And in order to have a better understanding of what is happening around us, we have to literally define this based on different levels, based on different perspectives. That's the true resilience. So I don't know, but I guess like the number of people who are in the room that they are not from the same background is going to be way different. I'm just going to point some fingers. Karen, what is resilience for you?
You know her.
Mark, what is resilience for you?
My grandchildren and their children and others be able to do what I got to do.
Dustin, what is resilience for you?
Sustainable well-being.
Dawn, what is resilience for you?
Recover back.
Andra, what is resilience for you?
I'm going to say something similar, but it's being prepared to survive and thrive under challenging conditions.
So I picked some people that I know their background and they are different and their response was different, but at the same time, they have the same roots. So it's not that much like hard to make the definition the same, but at the same time, we have to like understand that there are different components that are different and important for different populations, and we need to kind of incorporate them when we are talking about resilience. So resilience is not just about us, it's about everything that is around us and depend on us. When a human being wants to be healthy, everything around it, the animals, the other human, the environment, the plants, even the non-living things that are around us should be healthy. So in order for us to be focused on survival or sustaining or resilience, we have to think about it about the whole system. So resilience is kind of like a balance, but this balance should be around biology, environment, social thing, the social impact and everything. All of these should work together in order for us to reach the true resilience that we are looking for. So resilience emerges when every voice is heard, every part of the system is kind of illustrated so that we can draw the whole picture and everything which is around it. So that's why we are here, and we want to introduce the Living Earth Twin initiative. Some of you might have heard the term digital twin. So when we are talking about digital twin, it's mainly about architecture and how we are kind of like drawing how the city or the system is there. And we are trying to make it a digital platform of that so that it would be easier to make the connections, to see how things are impacting each other. Here we are going to do the same. We have a snow globe. We want to draw the digital twin of our snow globe, because as we said, we have different parts in our snow globe, and we really want to know what are the connections between these parts. We want to realize what are the invisible connections, what are the invisible threads that we have never paid attention, or whenever we want to make actually a decision, we are literally forgetting it or not taking it into account. So it's a kind of a platform or a new way of thinking that we want to make sure everyone, every voices, not only human, every human being, but also not only human, all the voices are heard. And based on the data and the relations that they have with each other, we decide what to do next. And that's how Exposome comes into play. So I think all of you have heard during the years that there are different terminologies, different frameworks that have been there. We have been using it for some time. And the idea is to try to connect different parts that we were discussing it and try to see how we are going to measure it. So we had eco-health. Eco-health is actually kind of, so I'm going to have some definitions. Some of you might agree, some of you might not agree with the definitions, but it's the whole picture that we are discussing now. Because for planetary health, I had a discussion with Angelica the other day, and there are some terms, but just for the flow. So eco-health focuses on healthy ecosystems. So it's kind of like for our ecosystem to be healthy, for human to be healthy, the ecosystem, the social well-being, and like this ecological well-being is important for them. We have One Health that there has been like the terminology that have been used for quite some time. So One Health actually focuses on human health, animal health, and environmental health, and the intersection that is between them, how they share the risk and how these things are kind of connected with each other. And then it comes planetary health. Planetary health is a kind of like a global umbrella that tries to cover all of these things and tries to say like to take into account climate change, biodiversity, how we can actually achieve that and reach both the health of the planet and the human inside it by literally making sure that everyone is healthy. And now I'm going to talk about exposomics. So exposomics is actually the measurement of the exposures. So I have my omics, my biological signature inside me. So when I'm exposed to something, that omic to some extent is going to be changed. The exposures are going to change me. But this is not about only today. Over generations, our previous ancestors have been exposed to different environmental exposures, and all of them has made some changes in their genes. We already know them as epigenetic. So those changes have been trying to help them to survive. So this is the biological part of me, which is not only about today, it's about like all the way through time. I have my environment exposure. So environment exposure is the normal environmental exposures that you already know, the chemical exposures that you have read about it. But we also have like the built-in exposures and environment. I'm living in a place that it has like this amount of green space. I have access to this amount of like walking area. So all of that is going to define my lifestyle, my behavior. So if I tell people to go and walk outside and there is no place to go and walk, there is like, it's kind of like I'm telling them to do something where there is nothing to do. So this is kind of like interrelated with each other. And then we have the social part. So our diet, our lifestyle, but this is also impacted by our socioeconomic status, by the policies, by where and when we are living. So all of these things, the combination of all of them and how everything is going to change everything is called exposomic. It doesn't need to be human in the middle. You can actually put any of like, you can put a plant in the middle and draw the same picture for the plant. It's kind of the relation of how things are being affected over time and how you can measure these exposures. So I told you we have internal exposures and external exposures. So internal exposomes and external exposomes. And these are actually the factors. This is like a big list. This is just like some examples of that. But the combination of all of these and how they are affecting us is actually going to define the outcome that we are looking for. You can call it health. You can call it equity. You can call it sustainability. You can call it resilience. It's the combination of all of these factors that are going to help you understand what is the outcome. And I'm not biased. Biosensors are going to be like the key factor in exposomics because they kind of, the main important here, challenge here is actually, so we have all of those exposures, we have all of those exposomes in our snow globe. We want to measure it. How we can measure it? That's how biosensing is going to come into place. So it's kind of a tool for us to try to measure the relationships, the links across different factors and exposomes that are in our snow globe, and to kind of generate multi-scale data that through that we can actually draw our digital twin and actually see by mapping these exposures and these connections to have a better understanding of what is happening and how to make those informed decision makings. So why exposomic matters for sustainability? I told you all of them are connected with each other. Exposomes and exposures are measurable. So we can have a tool to measure resilience. We can actually like grade it and say, this is good, this is bad. It helps to a kind of definition that you can score it so that the definitions would not be different. And actually, we can make a shared evidence-based policy based on that, because now we have a definition, we have a tool to measure it, and so we can go and say, okay, I want to achieve this goal. So this is the way. These are the factors that I can intervene with, I can modify. These are the things that I cannot change. Within the things that I can change, I have limited resources. These have like the highest impact. These have the lowest impact. So I have this amount of money. It's a trade-off. I decide which one I want to change in order to reach the decision that I want to go through and I actually want to reach. But in order to be doing this, we need to be inclusive. Every voice should be heard. This voice is community, industry, academia, different backgrounds, and also adding everything apart from human to the mix. So we cannot actually go forward without the diversity, because not having the diversity causes blind spots. It causes inequity. We need to have everything together. So what we want to do in Living Earth Twin initiative, we actually want to make a shared vision and language in order to say this is resilience, that all of us agree, and we can actually start drawing that map, draw the exposomic map and start like measuring it. And by doing these measurements, try to measure resilience at the end and make that decision and the policy into real world applications and see what it wants. This is actually a small exposomic of human life. I don't know why the quality is so bad, but it's like here you could see like everything that is around us. And that's super easy to put one of these things here and redraw the whole thing. So it's kind of like we can have plant in the middle, we can have animal in the middle, everything, and like redraw the whole system and see how it's going to be and then measure it. So that's the nice thing about exposomic. And the biosensing, as I told you, would help to find the gaps. Because when we are mapping like the relations, what we are going to understand is like, so for these relations, we have enough data. There have been a lot of studies here. So we already know there is some relation. For this part, we see there is no relation. So why this is the case? First of all, somebody studied, there was no relation. Exactly, that's like the simple answer. There was no relation there. Or maybe nobody studied it. That's the reason, that's the gap, that's the thing that we have to look into. Or the third one, that would be like super interesting for me, there is no tool to measure. They didn't know how to measure this relation or intersection. That's why we need to have a new biosensor to be making that. I'm just going to put inside like what is IIB doing, which is totally aligned with like the whole thing that I was saying. So IIB is actually trying to bring people who are working in biosensing, which is quite interdisciplinary because biosensors, all of you are using it. You have a smartwatch. You walk into a place, the light goes on and it's going to impact you. You are having a pacemaker. You are having like, you use like corona tests, COVID tests during the corona. You use pregnancy tests. All of those are biosensing. So you need the data, you need the biosensor itself, which is material sciences, surface chemistry, all of those different disciplines to make the device itself. You need electronics and readouts. So you can have an optical sensor, you can have an electrical sensor. So these are different types depending on what and how sensitive you want to measure. And at the end, you have different application. You can use it for studying human health, animal health, different things in soil health, water health. So you can make real-time measurements. you can time continuous measurements, or you can do point measurements. All of them are the applications of the biosensor, and it means different people with different backgrounds are working together. So at IIB, we are trying to bring all of those experts to work with each other from academia, from industry, from government, from community, in order to make a change, in order to have an impact. And this is actually what we want to go through. We want to really have people from all different groups to work together in order to make a change and make make a change and make the impact that we want. We are in University of Minnesota. We have access to Minnesota Supercomputing, Data Science and AI Hub, U Special and Joe communities that Lynn and Tom are here. I saw Galen in the back. So we have advisory committee from all over the university. This all shows like how interdisciplinary we are. And we are in Minnesota, so we have access to a large different companies and industry that are going to help us with that interchange between the two of us. And we have international partners. Natasha is here from Kiel University, Germany today, and we are trying to make this change a kind of like a global change. Having said that, why are we here today? So no single one of us can do anything. We have to be together. We have to work together. We have to create a shared vision and language in order to be able to move forward. So that's the idea behind today's meeting.